You love the way that I love you and put anything above you. You love the way I put it down in a song that we make love to, song that we can fuck to, and a little rhythm that will touch you. I swear to God that you're an angel, can you come through? I gave my life to you, I really pulled my heart out, I fell in love with you. And baby, I know you're down, yeah, think I'm stuck with you, you're stuck with me. My head's in the cloud, all the things I've done for you, I think we figured this out. Oh yeah, you saved my life in ways that...
Alright, yeah, we're all good to go.
Let's get it. How you doing, man?
I've been doing pretty good. How you been doing, man?
I'm good, just trying to catch up with myself.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you got any new stuff in the works?
Yeah, man, I got all kinds of stuff in the works. I got 3 projects that I'm trying to get lined out as best as I can, but my brain is such a mess that it's hard trying to just lock everything down that I need to, right? But I have about 40 songs recorded that I need to kind of consolidate into different projects that I've just been holding on to for probably over a year now.
Damn, that's a lot of tracks.
Yeah, man. And what's crazy about that is I wrote a lot of those years ago and just been trying to catch up on those. So a lot of the music that I'm working on now, I wrote, 6 months ago, 7 months ago. So the stuff that I'm writing today, based on how things are going, might not come out for a while.
Oh, yeah, I feel that. See, my biggest problem, is running a lot of pages and stuff, and I got OCD really bad, and sometimes it just gets so confusing, and like I start nitpicking at things, and it's frustrating,
I don't know how you do it, because I have a hard enough time deciphering my own passwords to like Facebook and Cash App and YouTube,
yeah.
let alone running 12 different pages.
Oh, fuck.
And that's me too. I look at my Twitter, which I'm not really on that much, my Instagram, YouTube and all that, and I get overwhelmed. I don't even know where to begin. So now I have 27 tabs open on the one window, just trying to work, and it's like I'm doing 27 things at once, and it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, for real, it gets frustrating.
My friends come over and they see all my lists and things that I write down on sticky notes and just stuff hanging up everywhere with random shit that I got written all over it, dates and prices and phone numbers, right? And they're like, dude, what in the hell? And I get it, I get it. It looks crazy, but there's no other way to do it unless you're going to live this normal-ass life where you punch in and punch out and everything's kind of laid out for you. But when you want to do something that's different, it's going to look a little different.
Yeah, every kind of phone has like a little app that's like your little note, you keep your notes.
Right.
And mine, literally, there's probably 2,000 of them at the moment. And it just
can't even do it.
It just gets like, there's literally days I just have to be like, okay, I just can't even look at that shit today. I gotta take a break.
Right. Yep. That's exactly where I'm at with all of my notes. But the thing is I can't do it in technology. Like I don't even write in my phone. Like I'm still one of the artists that write in a notebook.
Well, I think that's dope.
My brain is just like, when I'm looking at a phone, it literally feels like I'm being sucked into a whole different world with different rules,
Yeah.
I'm not typing, I'm typing in my head when I'm typing the text, but I'm not really saying it how I would say it if you were in front of me or on the phone.
Exactly, I feel that.
It's fucking crazy. So I don't do notes in the phones because it makes things feel even crazier, especially when I gotta stare at a computer all day.
Yeah, for real.
I need some sunlight.
yeah, for real. Today, that's what I did. A lot of that today. I just sat outside and fucking smoked and listened to the birds and just try and clear my mind.
Right, and that's sometimes what you got to do. I'm getting real good at it, and I'm not sure how my fans are following. Phil got it, but I'll ghost for weeks.
Oh yeah, I did that the last week. I kind of just fucking disappeared.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And I wanted to talk to you, because, man, we've been going back and forth for quite a while now, and, I've heard a lot of progression in your music, and it just keeps getting better, and I wanted to ask you, do you kind of take any steps, or do you do anything to make sure this next song or project is better than your previous stuff?
Yeah, I think what I'm starting to realize is the secret to a better song is a better you. Developing yourself and really trying to find some sort of inner peace, even if you're writing things that I'm talking about, which I know sound a lot like really chaotic in the verses, but in all reality, my music brings me so much peace.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it happens. That's where the magic is being able to see some sort of self growth and honoring that and holding yourself accountable to that.
For sure.
There are things that I do other than that. I know, like, I'll really go back and analyze Music to Be Murdered by Side B and all the interviews that M did after he dropped it. And then I really am starting to fuck with, like, Jack Harlow's got a cool story and the way that he has a dope delivery. So I really do try and stay in tune with artists that are really dropping hot music. Another one is Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And as far as lyricists go, like Big Sean, Dave East, Joyner Lucas, Tech Nine, and King ISO is another one that I've really been rocking hard to. Analyzing your favorite artists is another key factor, and kind of not looking at it to a point where you want to be like them or you want to try and sound like them.
Right.
But more in a sense, how are they making you feel and why are they your favorite artist?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm trying to hone in on that and focus on it. So
I totally agree with that. Like, I've been writing a new album, and definitely I take little notes and inspiration from bands that I've been listening to for years, and you don't necessarily copy them, but you learn something from them that helps you.
And I know this is kind of just off topic, but sort of on topic. One thing I want to say is Drake, Pop Smoke, they both did some incredible things with their music. Even when you do copy an artist.
Right, yeah.
Pop Smoke did with 50 Cent. Like, Drake is done with literally everybody. He will recycle a dope-ass verse. You hear all these new songs coming out on the radio that are popping, and they're all sampled. They're all sampled from early 2000s.
Yeah.
What you know about love, Pop Smoke, right?
Right.
It's okay to sound like them too. Now, honestly, you don't want to bite them. You don't want to do everything like. You don't want to mimic it, but it's okay to pay homage too. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
People get that fucked up sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is to make sure you're paying homage.
Have you heard the snippet for one of the singles I got coming out for Heartbreak Hotel?
I don't think I did.
The whole album is just the whole project is my emotions and what I felt when I was listening to the song Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis and what it meant to me. So I went ahead and did a whole album or project on it dedicated to an ex-lover of mine, but that's neither here nor there.
I think that's really dope.
Is Heartbreak Hotel, and I super go Elvis on the intro, and it's incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's really dope, and I think that's a great way to express yourself.
Yeah, and I hope a lot of other artists open up to that, as opposed to trying to sound like somebody else. Like, take what they said or take the emotions that they gave you with that music and and just develop it into your own. It's beautiful.
Exactly. Like, you couldn't have said it better. I think that totally sums it up. I agree with that.
It's awesome.
And I wanted to talk to you. I was thinking about, before I started writing some questions and stuff, and I was thinking about back when we first met, and you remember that track that we did together?
I still bump it.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, bro, I'm looking at it right now. Is that like 3.5 maybe?
Like, it's funny. I remember there was one opening on there, and I couldn't find anybody that I think at the time I thought would match the sound I wanted. And I remember somebody sent me a track of yours, and I was like, I gotta get this guy.
It's crazy because I guess it doesn't matter, but I'm wondering who it was and what song it was, because that was pretty random. I was really excited when you had hit me up. I heard the beat, and literally I wrote to it and recorded it the next day.
Yeah, I remember it came together so well.
And see, me, like, I really have a hard time finding it in me to invest in a home studio.
Yeah.
Because I'm so late in the game, and I know it's not ever too late to learn, right? Or it's not ever too late to learn, which I am enrolled in school for Full Sail University to start learning, but I do pay for studio time, and a lot of the times I pay top dollar for studio time, and it's because a lot of these mixes that come out from independent artists and unsigned artists, to be honest, sound like shit. A lot of people fuck with my music because it sounds really good, and the studio quality is really good. So, that's important too when it comes to being an artist.
Definitely.
I just want to say that, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, I can like every time I listen, especially the shit you've been dropping over the last year, like it's always super quality.
Yeah, I need to get the videos to match that up.
Yeah, you need some more videos. I really like that for my family video. That shit's dope.
Yeah, and the Vivo look on that was really dope too. So shout out to PA74 out there in Italy for hooking me up with that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That deal is coming up. So I get the song back. I made sure I get my masters back on that song. And again, that's really important too when this comes out, is make sure that when you sign these deals that you're going to get these masters back and be able to profit.
Yeah, definitely got to make sure you look out for yourself.
I was watching, I forget which song it was, but it was a Lil Baby song. It was right before he really, really popped. God dang it, I don't remember the name of the song, and I wish I did, but I swear I was watching it 3 months prior to when it really blew up, and when I had seen it, it was at 180,000 views, and the song was 2 years old.
Damn, yeah.
Now this shit's at like 100 million. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So you want to make sure you get that shit back, even if it's after a year or two, whatever the deal is.
For real, because, later on that shit might blow up, and then if you don't own your shit, I mean, that could really fuck you.
You're hit.
So,
yeah, man. So, yeah, I definitely do appreciate you reaching out to me. I think it was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that was dope, man. I still bump that shit a lot, too.
Hell yeah, man.
And, I know we touched on this a little bit, but, like, what age were you when you, like, really, really just started writing and wanted to become a musician?
Oh, man. It's crazy to answer such a devious little question. Music is always going to be a part of me.
Yeah.
And I will always be a musician. I probably always was. When I really noticed it, man, was maybe 6 months ago, when people really started to reach out to me about their stories and how my music was affecting their lives. And that was I was always making music, right? I was always a musician,
Right.
but I never knew that it was for sure that it was me until I started realizing that I was changing people's lives and helping people get through their day, just like music was doing for me when I was a kid.
Isn't that the best feeling, like when someone tells you that your song impacted them that deeply?
It's beautiful, man. And I think I took it for granted these past 6 months, but I'm really starting to understand, and again, I'm really starting to understand this is my calling, and this is the voice that the gods give me.
I can agree with that, man. I really think you were born to do this.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. I'm getting goosebumps and shit while we're talking, so thank you.
For real, like, every time you drop a track, man, like, I'm usually sitting outside smoking and I listen to it, and it always affects me in some type of way. Like, it's always a good, positive, like, makes me want to be a better person, or makes me reflect on things, or, it just helps me relate to somebody.
It's a little vibe.
Yeah.
It's a little vibe. And then you could bump it at the parties every now and again, too. Like,
Exactly.
It really is a whole vibe.
It really, yeah, for real. It's got that kind of best of both worlds. Like, you can sit alone in your room and bump that shit and kind of, be in your feels, or you can be at a party and bump that shit.
Yeah, you could headbang it with your homies, or you could be out on the plains with a little hottie and a blunt,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that was something that I really tried to focus on when I not made, because it's not like I did it on purpose, but before I met you, my music was darker and there was not a lot of melodic sounds to it, and a lot of that was because I didn't believe that I could sing. The other part of it was because I was angry, and so a lot of my music was dark and grungy and heavy, and I might fuck you up and stick something in your chick, really intense. When I made the jump I kind of lost track of the point there. What was the question? I'm sorry.
We were just talking about, kind of the vibe of your music and how...
Right. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I made it a point when I started making more melodic music that I was going to incorporate and not throw out the dark sound, but in a way infuse it into a more poppy sound.
Right.
Without losing track of my heavy sound. To make it pop where you could potentially play it in the club or by yourself. But I thought that was important because a lot of music that is straight deep, or a lot of the political music, it'll get buried, and I think if you have a more poppy, catchy sound to it and you still have that emotion in it, you're gonna, at least my plan is to really shake the game up.
Yeah, for real, take multiple elements and put it into, make it one sound, but it has, different depths and elements to it, I think.
Right. And I think, imagine listening to mainstream radio and they played music that mattered to people.
For real.
To real people.
For real.
To normal ass people. Not the people that are at the top of the city popping bottles in the fucking club.
Right.
Real ass people.
Yeah, for real. That would be dope.
I hope we get it, bro.
Me too. So, I know you talked about this a little, and I know, Eminem definitely is a big influence, but can you name like a few people that just really, really influenced you, growing up?
Growing up, yeah. I didn't get introduced to hip-hop until later in my life when I moved to Denver at about, I want to say 11. And, it was Eminem, and this is going to sound crazy, but one of the artists that really impacted me in high school was T Nutty.
Really?
T Nutty, Sacramento. It's just his anger, his the way he carried himself was just someone I aspired to be. He was just such a confident personality. He didn't care about anything, bro. He just reflected on the way he felt, and that was just incredible to me. I don't know. It sounds strange, but then on the other side, there was like people like Young Buck, 50 Cent, the whole G Unit gang really inspired me. And then alternative music too, Linkin Park and
for sure, yeah.
3 Doors Down and Hinder, kind of the softer stuff, but that's what you hear in a lot of my music too. Some of that softer alternative.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed that. I think that's dope. I wanted to ask you, you've talked about, going through foster homes and, your childhood was pretty rough. And do you think, that really impacted kind of how your music has evolved?
100%. I don't know if you know this, but I had a breakdown last year and was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and borderline bipolar depression. Prior to that, I had this girl break up with me, and I kind of went through this really bad psychosis phase and tried to commit suicide, bro, and ended up in the hospital.
Yeah, man, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it 100% has affected my music. Like I said, the growth in me every day is what impacts my music, and so naturally me going and figuring out what was actually wrong with me impacted the way that I live every single moment of my life.
Yeah, definitely.
It also made me realize that there's a giant group of people out there that are just unspoken for.
Yeah.
No matter how many artists come out, there's always going to be room for more artists to connect with people in ways that other artists haven't,
Yeah,
it's really
for real.
important. It's really important to release every song.
I agree with that. I definitely.
And so again, we go back to me trying to play catch up on myself because I'm way behind.
Hey, well, I can't wait to hear when that shit does come out.
It's exciting. I got 3 for sure that I want you guys to watch out for. One is called We Gon' Ride. That's going to be the first of 3 singles that I'm releasing. The second one is called Tomorrow, featuring Troy Good Music from out here. And then the third one is called Why, and that one is important. It's on the Heartbreak Hotel album, but it really goes into some of the things that did happen when I was a kid, including some of the sexual situations that I was forced to be in and a lot of the violence, neglect, and abuse that happened in those situations. So,
yeah, so definitely a deep track.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And so this is going to be a full album release type deal?
Yeah, I'm going to do everything I can for it, man. As soon as they're done, because that's the whole thing is me getting them done, me getting them ready to release. It's so hard for me dealing with the mental health every day.
Yeah.
It's just I gotta get it together. But when I do, they're gonna be the most fire fucking projects. I promise you. PTSD is already at about 13 tracks. Heartbreak Hotel is at 10 tracks, and then we got PTSD 2 in the works, which is at about 9 tracks.
Hell yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I didn't know there was a part 2.
Well, yeah, so Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, the single, is going to be on the PTSD album.
Right. Okay.
Or I think what we're going to call it is Chapter 1 PTSD.
Hell yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
Yes, sir. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and just like kind of what we were speaking on, your music, it's really personal and deep, and do you find it hard sometimes, to share such personal things in your music, and kind of, how do you kind of like prepare yourself to like pour your soul out into a song?
Oh, I don't. It's natural.
You just let it flow?
I just let it go, man. Again, it's about getting to the studio and getting the song released.
Right.
I have thousands of songs that have been lost, burned, not released, recorded and lost, whatever the situation may be. I almost know for a fact that I've written more music than the majority of up-and-coming artists. I've lost notebooks and backpacks full of notebooks at a time, you know?
Damn.
It's ridiculous. So a lot of the times the songs aren't even coming out. I've recorded maybe 9 songs in the past 4 months that I don't plan on releasing because they were simply for me. So writing them isn't hard. It's releasing them and believing in myself, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I said, it's very important that these songs come out, and I'm just now starting to realize that. So I'm gonna change this, fix it up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So would you consider, you know, what you're doing and the lyrics and letting it out and releasing the music is like kind of a coping method?
It's 100%. It's being honest with myself about who I am and where I come from. Because the big thing about borderline personality disorder, which is something, again, I'm just now realizing,
Right.
it's a personality disorder. So a lot of the times there's fluctuations of emotion, and so regular mad and regular sad isn't just that. It's to the max, which led to a lot of violence, which leads to a lot of isolation. Being honest with yourself about what's wrong with you and what's causing you to do the things that you do on a daily basis that are sabotaging for yourself.
Right.
Is the first reality check, and then from there you can make the steps to do it. So putting all this stuff out on paper and being honest with myself about who I am, I'm just a young, handsome, abused foster kid that never had any parents. And now I'm making music to help people deal with the bullshit that they're having to go through.
For real, man. I mean, if you think about it, like, you're the voice for a lot of people that need to be heard.
I like to think that, man, I just want to make sure that we're saving children who are being abused.
I noticed that's a big part of your mission, and I really respect that. I think that's really dope.
Yeah, man. I sent, someone sent me a video of a 17-year-old kid punching a 9-year-old kid, beating the hell out of him. Two dudes jumping this kid.
Fuck.
That was today, man. And I don't think the person that sent it to me understood what it might do to me, but
right.
But it definitely spiraled me into a hole for the past couple hours. And I did reach out to a local police department and find out if they were investigating this video that I saw. It turns out that they picked up the kid, so I'm glad about that. But that is my mission. My mission is to save kids through music, through therapy, or through mentorship.
I really respect that, bro. Like, for real, I really applaud you for that. I think, you know, that's something you don't really see with a lot of these up and coming artists. It's, you know, it's more about just getting their bag and shit.
Getting the bag, getting some clout.
For real.
I want to be a warrior for people that don't have a lot of fight left in them.
And see, that really inspires me, and I think it's really great you're doing that, man.
Thank you, man. I'm glad you're inspired.
Oh, definitely. So I wanted to talk to you about that. You know, how did it hit you when you were diagnosed? Like, what went through your mind, and, you know, kind of what did you do to cope?
Well, I stopped taking my medications.
Okay.
After about 3 weeks of being on them, and I know that doesn't sound like I did a lot to help myself, but without getting into it too much, they basically made me feel like a different person.
Right.
Like somebody ripped my soul out, washed it through a laundry machine, and stuck it back in me.
I know that feeling, man. I've been on a lot of medication.
And that made me just as depressed as I was without them. So what I do? I swallowed all those pills with a bottle of tequila.
Damn, yeah.
Ended up in the hospital again, man. So that can't be right.
Right.
So now what I'm doing is the big thing that I have to do is remind myself of who I am. I have borderline personality disorder and bipolar depression. Every now and again when I'm feeling crazy and I don't know what's wrong, I go ahead and come to this tab on my computer right here. You can't see that I'm pointing at it, but it stays on my computer, and it's the definition of borderline personality disorder, and right next to it is the definition of bipolar depression. Symptoms, side effects, and just seeing that I have that and being able to go to different group posts and looking at different memes and making jokes about it.
Hey, yeah, man.
A lot of that pressure, right?
Definitely. I feel that.
And then writing is my lifeline.
Yeah, writing is huge.
If you ever hear that I'm not writing music and you can't get a hold of me, send somebody to find me.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I know what you mean, man. I write every day, and like you said, I don't release fucking 90% of the shit I write, but it helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, I'm going to reiterate it one more time. It's important that we release that stuff, especially the stuff that's really we need to get off our chest. That stuff has to be released because that's the stuff that's going to help these people.
And I wanted to talk to you about this. I haven't really told much about this, but I figured, you'd be a good person to talk to. My new album is called Day to Day. I've been working on this for fucking 2 years. And it's going to come out, I think, about February 5th. And the whole album is when I was diagnosed with HPPD, hyper-persistent perceptual disorder. And that shit rocked my world. And this whole album, every song represents, every emotion that came along with this disorder. And I think, it's pretty dope, you're doing the PTSD thing, and I think deep down that kind of inspired me in a way to keep doing this album, because originally I wasn't going to release it.
It's important to release it. I'm looking up what HPPD is. I know you said it briefly, but I don't know. That's to go through something like that and have flashbacks and visual hallucinations. Am I correct?
Yeah, every day. Yeah.
To have something like that happening to you and to not give yourself the platform to speak on it and let others know who might be dealing with it, or even people who know people that are dealing with it.
Right.
You're not only robbing them, but you're robbing yourself. And I'm not saying that personally, like, if you don't do this, you're robbing these people, but
right.
I'm saying that to artists in general.
Yeah, I finally...
You're doing this stuff to express yourself. I mean, art to its truest form. I mean, back to like the, I don't know, when they still had poets and shit running around telling tales,
Yeah.
It's important that we spread the word of what's happening in the world and what's happening in places physically and metaphysically.
Right, for sure. And that's it a lot. Like, the thing with HPPD, like, one moment I can be looking at someone and they look like the person I know. And then 10 minutes later, I look at that person and they look nothing like themselves, and everything in every bit of my surroundings is completely distorted. And that's what the cover art really resembles. So even the artwork is, expressing myself.
That's, really, I don't know. Thank you for telling me that, man. Something that I go through that's moderately relatable, is when I drink. If I drink too much, I'll go to sleep. And in my sleep, it only happens when I'm drunk. My nightmares will get so bad. I'm punching stuff. I'm apparently talking to people. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, don't even know my name, and it's crazy. So that's a big part of why I'm not drinking anymore too.
Yeah, bro, I quit drinking too because it just became such a. I just got in such a deep hole for a while, and yeah, man, it's like, and then my biggest thing was benzos. My addiction to benzos was literally horrific.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's a rough world out there, man. You definitely gotta stay away from the shit when you realize that you need to.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to realize that, but then when you do and you push yourself, like, I have more clarity now that, like, lately than I've had in my whole life.
That's beautiful.
And, every day I can actually say that I'm appreciative of what I have and that I'm happy. And, like, I was never able to say that shit before.
Well, I'm working on it.
Well, hell yeah, man.
I salute you.
Hell yeah, man. And I'm always here too. I relate.
Yeah, man.
I know the struggle. I mean, not your exact struggle, but I know what it feels like to be in that, that hole.
Yeah, and with BPD, you kind of push everybody away because of that. They say it's because of the unpredictable living environment that you were given as a child and not being provided the proper type of love and all this other good stuff that we don't really have to get into. But part of that is the fear of abandonment. And
definitely.
so when I go into these deep holes, before I even realize what's happening, I haven't spoke to anybody for 2 months. And at this point, I don't even want to call them anymore because it's been so long since I talked to them.
And that, that's another reason why I really fuck with and really rock with this whole thing you're doing. You're speaking out about it, helping people. And, like, I really respect that shit.
I am going to get help as well. I'm getting into therapy, and so I do want to put that on the record because I think that's important. There's specialists out there to help you understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with them, it's better to have some sort of professional insight than not have any at all. And that's why I spend a lot of time on Google.
Yeah,
learning.
Me too. As hard as it may be, like, there is help and people can get that help.
A lot of times PTSD is really just a minor symptom of something more severe going on.
Yeah.
That's what's scary too. People think PTSD is the final diagnosis. There's so much more happening, and just the way the brain works, there's no way of telling how people and what they're going through, and it's scary almost, but it's also enlightening because I think it's something that we need to talk about for sure.
For sure, I find it fascinating. The brain is the most fascinating thing that, I mean, it's just so, it's unpredictable and it's just fascinating. That
key to everything.
Yeah.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, for real. I agree with that. Would you say that your music is like therapy for you? And, like, can you explain to me and whoever's listening why it can help you so much?
Yeah, it's just like when they tell you to type out a dirty email and then read it a few times and then delete it. The only difference is I'm not deleting it.
Right.
I'm putting this stuff on record. It needs to be talked about. The vulnerability that foster children and children in general and the situations that they're in scares me.
Yeah.
So writing it down is therapy. I think it's starting to become more of an art for me rather than therapy, because I've come to a point where I've accepted a lot of my traumas and pains.
Yeah.
Through meditation, and honestly, it might sound crazy, and I don't know how you feel about it, but psychedelics have helped my depression a lot. And microdosing mushrooms every now and again is something that really helps me, and I've really found an incredible amount of enlightenment.
Man, I can agree with that. I used to do pretty much the same thing. I would do various amounts of doses of, psilocybin mushrooms, and it reset my brain. It did.
Yeah. It's a reset.
It made me see things more clearly and kind of understand who I am. And I think psychedelics definitely need to keep being researched, because I think there is a good use for them. I definitely agree.
I've also heard about this one girl was telling me after a live I did on Quarantine Karaoke, she reached out to me and said that she was diagnosed with schizophrenia because of mushrooms. And that's
really?
something that's always scared me, is how vulnerable is my mental health, how fragile really is it, and will it be knocked over that little lip to just spill everything all over?
Psychedelics are also linked to the cause of HPPD as well as a lot of other things. So, that's why I think they just need to keep being researched and, maybe find a balance or something.
Yeah. And I think my generation, a lot of the people in the city that I grew up with, the kids that I was around, all of us were doing the same damn thing. We were all doing ecstasy. We were all doing acid and mushrooms and Molly and cocaine. We were all getting drunk.
Me too.
I mean, maybe not everybody, but a lot of us were. And a lot of the people around town were, because we weren't the only party in town.
Right.
I think there's going to be a massive outbreak of mental health diagnoses over the next 10 years, and hopefully a lot of these states are on top of it. I know Colorado is kind of leading the game, but I don't think a lot of these states are going to be prepared for the fucking wall of shit that's coming.
It's crazy you say that, because I've really thought about that too, that there is going to be this big breakout of mental illness that's going to submerge. I've thought about the same thing.
Yeah, and it's either I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about it. I mean, I don't know if there's much we can do about it, but I don't know if there's a lot of people out there that are taking the weight of it either.
Yeah.
And if I can take some of that weight with my music, then I'm in for the ride.
Yeah, and I just want to say this on note. I think it's really cool, man, because I've personally never seen an artist who really speaks out and tries to help foster children. I've never seen that, and to see that in you, I think that's really fucking cool, man.
It's I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man.
When I saw the stuff coming out about the kids at the border and how they were being treated.
Oh, yeah.
That was big triggers, bro. That was big triggers.
That shit's fucked.
That launched, I believe, my song Neverland.
Yeah, that's a good song, man.
Yeah, and it's about a child being stuck in this world that's just black and white. So that song's important. And just the fact take care of these kids. I know I keep saying it, but
Well, it's a good message, man, and I really respect it.
maybe a couple years from now I'll have this big epicenter I've been talking about, man. I want to build centers in major cities like Denver, LA, New York that take in kids that have been separated from their parents or separated from their siblings in foster care, and not so much group home them, but kind of like a mix between a group home and a YMCA, but also have a full-fledged mental health staff just to take care of them, man. It's like some of the foster homes that I went in, thinking back just blows my mind.
Yeah, man, some of them are really bad.
So there's a lot to be done, sir.
Hey, man, if you ever get that epicenter thing going, if there's any way I can help, let me know. I totally would want to help with that.
I got I'm one of these tabs that I have open. I just started working on it yesterday. Is getting the nonprofit going. So that's the first step, and that's where I'm at.
Dude, yeah, that's super cool. Keep me updated on that.
I will.
I wanted to ask you, was there ever a particular song that was the hardest for you to write?
Yeah. As far as being released, obviously we're probably not going to talk about a Go song that doesn't really exist.
Yeah, like out of your catalog that's publicly available, is there one that was like...
Yeah, Nightmare, number one. That was the hardest one. I wrote it after I had left my wife for the last time. I got a domestic violence charge, and she'd forgiven me. I broke her phone and, did some damage around the house. I didn't put her in a very good situation, and anyways, I've grown a lot from it, and that's what that song is about. And it's not necessarily about the specific time, but it's about what we're doing to our kids.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm not an evil person at heart. I've done some bad things, and I've done some bad things that I don't know if I'll forgive myself for.
I can relate to that.
But some of those things I have forgiven myself for because they weren't things that I wanted to do. I was trapped in this world where I was manipulated by every single word, every single toxic phrase that was fed to me as a child.
Yeah.
And I believed that violence and anger is how the world worked. And love worked in the same manner.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
And I talk to myself every day and try and be positive, but a lot of the times I'm telling myself all the things that I could have done better. And that's what that song is, and it's just really important to me, and that was the hardest one.
I don't know if you remember, but I released that on the Dejected Volume 1, the compilation tape, way back. Man, I don't even remember.
I do remember, yes sir.
And, what's crazy is there was a good amount of people that said that was their favorite song on the compilation album.
Wow. That's awesome to hear. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, and every time I hear that song, it gives me chills. Like, that is a fucking deep song.
It's dark, yeah. It's, I think the main point of it is wanting to break away from myself, break away from the relationship, and break away from whatever sort of toxic glue was holding me to that situation.
Yeah.
And bless her heart, I don't know what was holding her to it. Maybe it was some of this toxic glue that I was giving off, man. I have no idea, but the fact is sometimes we can become the most monstrous thing to the person that we love the most.
Yeah, definitely. I've done that. I've experienced that, and I want to say I think it takes a lot of heart and guts to release a song like that, and I really respect that you put that shit out there.
Again, man, it's things that need to be talked about that I just
Yeah,
don't feel are discussed.
definitely.
We got celebrities walking around smacking these women
Oh, I know, man.
and getting off.
I know, that shit's crazy. I see that shit all the time.
They're teaching millions of kids that, on top of all the bullshit that our parents already taught us. It's
Yeah.
not okay. So, yeah, it might come back on me, but at least I know that the intention of the song is genuine.
For real, I
And
mean,
again, I've grown.
you know, and it's like you were saying, like, you're being truthful to yourself, and I think that's what matters.
I watched that Wonder Woman movie, that second one with my mom the other night.
I just watched that too.
Yeah, and one of the quotes was, I'm pretty sure it was that movie, but a hero is never born from lies.
Yeah,
A hero
yeah.
cannot be born from lies, and being honest with yourself, and
Yeah, the truth. Yeah.
with the intention to help as well.
Definitely. And so, like, what is your ultimate dream with your music? What do you want to accomplish in the end?
I want, number one, to be able to take care of my family, and that's not to say that my other goals aren't just as high on the list.
Right. Yeah, I respect that.
The other goal that I have is to find some sort of feeling out of all this, or some sort of validation that I did help.
Yeah.
And I think there's no real number that I want to reach. But if I don't hit it, if I don't hit every kid that needs to be, that needs to find some sort of resolution in their life through their abuse and trauma, I don't know, man. I don't know. But there's got to be some sort of clarification. Otherwise, it's the biggest joke that God's ever played on me.
Well,
To give me so much ambition to change the lives of others and not be able to do it is a curse that I don't want to live with.
the way I see it is you're already helping people and you're going to continue to do it. And just the fact that you help as many people as you can throughout your venture, like, that's just the most important part. I mean, one person is even a huge accomplishment, and just to be able to keep doing it, and the more people you reach, and I know you're going to do that, I really think you have a big future, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I wanted to talk to you, do you have any other, like, artistic ventures that you want to explore?
Yeah, I'm sitting here about to start my first book.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to write a little, I don't know, autobiography.
Hell yeah, man, that's cool.
I've written short stories. I write poems almost every day.
That's dope.
I got a couple movie ideas, bro.
That would be sick.
That I think are fire. Yeah. I think it's all in my mind. My brain, I can sit here and think about something, and to put it in terms that are understandable, I can look at this computer or look at the mouse, and I don't just see the surface of the mouse. I try and visualize in my head what are all of the components and different screws that are making this fucking mouse work. And so when I'm sitting here thinking about a song, I can hear the song in my head. And when I'm sitting there thinking of different movies ideas, I'm literally sitting there for an hour, bro, watching this fucking movie play out in my head. And then I'll get to like this really good part of the movie, and I'm like, fuck, I need to write this down, and realize that I didn't write any of it down.
Damn, yeah, man.
now I just got this concept to a movie and all these scattered ass scenes that didn't really happen, and it's all stuck in my brain. So my biggest thing is trying to get the translation between my arms and my hands, between my brain to the paper, man.
Man, if there ever is, and I really hope there is, if there is ever a Miliano movie of any sorts, I would be the first fucking person in line.
Oh man, that's nice. It would be, yeah. Right behind, I don't know, right behind that Miliano Misfit fan page.
Yeah. You know, at times, like, have you ever felt like giving up? And when you did, what kept you going? You know, was it the thought, like the kids?
It's a lot of different things. It's my kids. It's I'm gonna be 100% honest here. It's about seeing what I'm gonna turn out to be.
Hey, yeah, I respect that.
And when all of the switches that I know are inside are gonna switch on.
Yeah.
Right? Because the progress that I've made, if we're looking at it like a light board, I don't know, we've only hit a couple switches on them, and there's been this much progress. I think there's a whole system down there ready to be turned on. The beast inside of me.
Hell yeah,
and
bro.
I think that's what keeps me going is what am I gonna be? Like, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, type of shit.
Yeah. Well, man, I can't wait to hear that Heartbreak Hotel and the PTSD and these albums and shit, man. I'm really excited.
It's gonna be incredible, man. I'm excited as well.
And I just wanted to end off the interview with asking you, as an artist who struggles with mental health, can you just give us some advice for other artists or really anyone experiencing a struggle right now?
It sounds basic, but the biggest thing for me is getting out of the house when I'm in those states, getting sunlight, getting fresh air, really opening my eyes to a more natural world.
Yeah.
Instead of being locked in by these drywall fucking box and fucking lights and I don't know, technology, phones and all that.
Yeah, man.
We don't think about it, but I think it plays a way bigger part than what we imagine. And I think if people really just put all this shit down, step outside and really look at the natural world.
Hey, I really agree with that, man, and that's why I go fishing every day.
Man, I can't wait to come out there and fish with you.
Bro, hell yeah, anytime, man. I'll show you the good spots.
Yeah, Utah's not that far of a drive.
Really, it ain't, man.
Right.
That would be sick, man. I go fishing every day. That's my little therapy time, to sit out by the water.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, bro. Anytime, I'll take you to some dope ass spots.
Yeah. I just got my little transportation situation fixed up, so I might have to make a trip.
Hell yeah, man. Hit me up anytime.
So, hell yeah, bro.